Okay, welcome everybody. This is a major test number 1 review. There are 20 questions on the test. Each question, once again, out of 100 points, each question is worth 5 points, 20 questions. The test is all multiple choice except for the last question, okay? And I'll show you what, somebody remind me at the end, show you what to do for the last question. That's that. So question number 1, and I have the review laid out. I looked at the test and I came up with a review question. So here we go. We have these numbers. And I want to know what the mean is. I recommend putting those in. Let me put them in the calculator. I'll do that too. So I am going to I'm going to put them in my calculator. So I'm going to turn my calculator on and type in new page. Hang on. I'm going to go to number 4, and at the top of number 4, I'm going to label the list I want. I'm just going to label it as L1. Then I'm going to enter in this data: 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3. So I'll give you a second to enter in the data. And I need to find the mean of it. And by the way, I'm going to give you some options, but first I want to show you how to do it. Thanks. You got 2.1. Okay. Maybe I typed it in wrong then. Because
I also got 2.1.
Oh, damn it. Because I wanted something else. I go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That 9. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I wanted to try something out. Give me 1 second. What does it out at? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, yes, I wanted that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so some people, these are the options on the test, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do this first on the calculator for those of you who didn't get 2.1. And it's a little hard to see on the calculator because I'm using the regular calculator, not the electronic one. I think yesterday it was clearer, but maybe if I have it down some. Okay, so anyway, I entered in my data into list 1. I labeled it list 1. What you normally would do then is click over to the right, anywhere to the right, if it lets me do it. Okay, I'm gonna click there. Then hit menu, statistics, right? Are we doing it right? stat calculations, and one variable stat. And then we hit enter here because we have one list. And the list is going to be L1. That's the list I labeled it as. And then we hit enter or okay. You're having I have a hard time seeing that. Can I get it down more so I can actually see it better? There, that's a little bit better. And so if I arrow it over, you see right there is the mean 2.11111. So that's what you should get. So now I want to come back to my page. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this is a very missed question on the test. So A is 2. B is 2. And I want to know which is the correct answer. Wait, let me do this. So in the chat box, if you would type in A, B, C, D, or E in the chat box, type in your answer and don't copy other people. Don't copy other people. You see, I got a couple of different answers, I think. And I did this on purpose because I think this is almost the most missed question on the test. Well, maybe, I don't know, but I see some C's, I see D's, I see B's, B, C, D. So there's a few different answers. Now, if you remember, by the way, the correct answer is what everybody said, C, 2.1. Why is it 2.1? Can somebody explain it? Why the answer is C?
Is it for two significant figures?
No, that's not the reason why.
Because there still needs to be a decimal.
Yes, well, because the data is whole numbers and your answer has to be or can be one decimal more than what you have. So since we don't have any decimal, I mean, you could put 0.30, but since we don't have any decimal places here, your answer can only be one decimal place. If your data was, decimals, 1.1, 1.3, 1.7, 1.8, then your answer can be 1.45, 2 decimals. If your data has one decimal place, then your answer can have 2 decimal places. Since your data has no decimal place, you're allowed 1 decimal place. Your answer can have 1 decimal place more than your data. So the correct answer is C. And if you go back to the very beginning of where we started this section for mean, that was the very first thing we talked about, that you round things to 1 decimal place more than the data. Since the data doesn't have any decimal places, your answer can have 1 decimal place, not 2, not more than that. So this is C is the correct answer. So I just want to make sure we understand that. Your answer can be 1 decimal place more than what we have. All right. Question 2. Oh, let's do the same. Here's the same numbers. What is the median?
2.
And where did you get that?
Because it's the middle number out of the 9 numbers.
Which two are you saying? What did you do first?
Oh, I put them in order. So
Yes,
1 and
okay,
then
right.
2 and
Okay.
then 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you remember, you have to, if you're going to do this manually, you have to put them in order. And there are 4 this side, 4 this side. So the median is 2. The answer is 2. Now, go back to your calculator really quick. Your calculator, how come my calculator turned off? That's weird. Did I hit something? My calculator didn't turn off. My camera turned off. Everything turned off. If you go back to your information here with the same stuff we typed in, if you scroll down, median is 2. It's a whole number 2. So your if you scroll down, remember the 5-number summary: min, Q1, median. So your calculator also says 2. So you didn't really have to put them in order. Your calculator would have did that for you. So yes, number 2 is median. Okay, so there's another question on the test. What is the mode?
3.
The mode is 3 because 3 occurs the most often. There are 4 3s, there are only 3 1s. So 3 is the mode. So that's 3 questions on the test right there. How easy is this going to be? All righty. Let's look at question 4. Oh, I'm going to put up some more numbers here. 7, 9, 13, 6, 3, and 3. What's the mid-range? Ooh, that might be a formula that we have to look up. Anybody know the formula to use for it?
The highest minus the lowest.
And then divide by 2.
Is it the highest minus the lowest dividing by 2? I don't think that's
It's
it.
the highest plus the low divided by 2.
Yes. Now, this is really important. Range is the highest minus the lowest, but mid-range is the highest plus the lowest divided by 2. So I would have a formula sheet handy, especially if you're just using your workbook, just to make sure you have all the formulas correct. The mid-range is the highest plus the lowest divided by 2. We want to know what number is in the middle. The highest number is 13. The lowest number is 3. 13 plus 3 is 16 divided by 2. So mid-range is 8. Mid-range is the number kind of like in the middle of it. Now, range is just highest minus the lowest. 13 minus 3 is 10. That's the range. So be careful on your formulas. Okay, using these numbers, we have another problem. What's the median? So I'll give you a second to try to work that out. What is the median here? And I'm going to put that data in my calculator. Why does my calculator turn off right away? Does it always turn off like that so quickly? So I'm going to go to 4 and add my data. And my data is 7. 9, 13, 6, 3, and 3. Now I'm going to click over on like C1 or someone over there, hit menu. Number 4, statistics. Number 1, stat calculate. Number 1 variable stats. Hit enter. Okay. Make sure you list the list that you're talking about. My list is L1. And then I'm going to scroll down to median. Did anybody get an answer?
I got 8.
Ooh, I didn't get 8 unless I typed something in wrong. Anybody get another answer?
I got 6.5.
Oh,
got
I actually
6.5 as
typed in
well.
16 instead of 13.
Okay, yeah, my handwriting's a little. So yeah, if you put in your calculator, you get 6.5. And by the way, it's multiple choice. So let's say you got 8, and 8 wasn't one of the answers. So then you just go to your list, your data, and verify that you typed in everything incorrectly. So if you don't see your answer, then go to your data and verify you did everything correctly. Now, another way of finding the median here is put them in order: 3, 3, 6, 7, 9, 13. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. If there's an even amount of numbers, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, you have to find the average of these two, 6 plus 7 divided by 2. If you have an odd number, then you just pick the number in the middle. But if it's even, there's no number in the middle. You have to pick the 2 middle numbers, add them up, and divide by 2, and you get 6.5. Okay. That was number 5. 5 or 6 or something like that. I don't know. All right. I don't even know what numbers were on that. Now it says I'm doing 7 next, so I must have did like you get a double of something. Okay, there's one that's group data. I'm gonna do this. Group data looks like this: 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 11 to 15, and 16 to 20. And then the frequency is 2, 7, 3, and 9. And we want to find the mean. Anybody remember how to find the mean for this? This was the class limit. Anybody know how to find the mean for this? Remember, this might be the hardest one on the test.
We got to find the midpoint first.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have to find the midpoint. And to find the midpoint is add these 2 up, 1 plus 5, and then divide by 2. I get 3. The midpoint is 3 here. Add those up. Midpoint is 8. Add these up. 6 plus 10 is 16 divided by 2 is 8. Here I get 26, I get 13, and then I should get 18 here. 16 plus 20 is 38. 36. 36 divided by 2 is 18. So you put the midpoints in the first list. And I'm going to say list 1. And you put frequency in the second list. You always put frequency in the second list. So we're going to put these into our calculator. We're going to have 2 lists. Midpoint goes in the first list. Frequency goes in the second list. So I'm going to hit new. Want to save it? Nope. And I'm going to go to number 4 and start a new list. First one I'm going to call L1. And the second list I'm actually going to call frequency. Just so I see it. R. I'm just gonna put FR. Okay, and I'm gonna type in these numbers. So midpoints go in the first list, 3, 8, 13, and 18. Uh-oh, what? Oh. And the frequencies in the second list, 2, 7, 3, and 9. Okay, so I put this in, I must have a very weak signal because it keeps on, yeah, see, it keeps on turning off. Why is it doing that? Oh, it won't let me. Why is it not letting me? Hang on. Is there something wrong with the camera? Or maybe the cord. I think it might have been the cord. So I added in, do you see the first list I labeled it L1, the second list I labeled it frequency. You can label it anything you want. Once you do it, you click somewhere over to the right. Oh, I'm trying to use my computer to do that. That's kind of dumb. I click somewhere over here to the right, hit menu, go to number 4, statistics. Number 4, statistics. And number 1, stat calculate. Oh, come on. Number 1, stat calculate. I'm not working this too well. And number 1, variable stats, hit enter. Keep only one list. Even if you have 2 lists, we're only using 1 list. And here we're going to put L1. The L1 is our first list, not that one. There, oh, come on. It's hard, it's over by my camera, so it's hard for me to see it. Does that say L1? I think it does. And then the second list is my frequency list. So you put the frequency list here. Oh, come on. There. Now we hit OK. So even though we're using 2 lists, remember you only hit 1 list and then you put the frequency in the second list. And anybody get an answer? Well, where's the answers at the top? I got 12.5. Does that sound right? Did anybody get that?
I got 10.5, sir. I think I put something in wrong.
Did anybody? Well, go ahead.
I got,
Well,
sorry, I got 6.2619.
Okay, hang on. Let's let me check my calculator. Let me check my calculator really quick. Okay, let me check my inputs so I can see what I'm typing in. I have midpoints are 3, 8, 13, and 18. Frequency is 2, 7, 3, and 9.
Never mind. I saw what I did wrong. I switched my L1 and L2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so did anybody else get 12.52 and 12.5 yet? Or maybe I even did it wrong because I'm worried that I didn't because I didn't have it up to my face.
I got 12.5238 on mine.
Yes.
I just entered it wrong the first time.
Okay, good. So that's what I got. So we're close now. And 12.5. I got the same thing. Thank you, Rosa. So 12.52. However, look at our data. Our data's whole numbers. So our answer can only be 1 decimal place. 12.52 rounded to 1 decimal place. Since 2 or less, 4 or less is in that spot. The answer is just 12.5. So you round it to 1 decimal place because the data that we have is all whole numbers. Good. So you see how easy it is. I mean, I called this list frequency so I could see the difference, and this one L1. Just as long as you know what you called them, you're good to go. That was group data. Oh, and then we have a problem like this. I took a math class, and the math class was 3 credits. And I got a B. I took an English class that was 4 credits and got an A. I took a science class that was 4 credits and I got a C. And I took a PE that was 2 credits and I got a C. What is your GPA for that semester? So you'll have a question like this. So I do know I type in these. What else do I type in? I'm gonna type this into a list, but is that all I have to type in? Anybody know anything else? What we did one of these in class. Remember, A's are worth 4 points when you do GPA. B's are worth 3 points. C's are worth 2 points. D's are worth 1 point. And F's are worth 0. So a B is worth 3 points, and A is worth 4 points. A C is worth 2 points, and a C is worth 2 points. So I also have to type in these. But the question is, which one is the frequency and which one was L1? Does anybody remember we did this GPA problem? Anybody remember?
Is the credits the frequency and the points you get the L1?
Yes. Yes. I just want to make sure everybody, you can go back, find that in your workbook. If you're taking notes on your workbook, you can go back and find that. I mentioned that the credits is free. If you get them backwards, I think we get it wrong. I think the credits are the frequency. I think that's what I told you. And then the number of points for each grade is L1. Or is it the, I think that's it. You got a B and the frequency of the B is 3. The credits of B is 3. So we're going to type that in. The 3, 4, 2, the L1 is going to be in the first list, and then the credits, which will be frequency, will be in the second list. So I'm going to type both of those in. So A, I'm going to call L1. And I'm going to type in 3, 4, 2, 2. 3, 4, 2, 2. 4, 2, 2. And then B, I'm calling my frequency list, so I know that it's frequency. FR. And frequency is 3, 4, 4, 2. 3, 4, 2. And then I'm going to go off to the right. So I'm going to go off to the right and click somewhere off to the right. Doesn't matter where you click. Hit menu, number 4, statistics. Number 1, stat calculate. Number 1 var stats. Hit enter. Even though we have 2 lists, we're only selecting 1. And in the top, we're going to put L1. That's list 1. There, I think that's the L1. And in frequency list, I labeled it frequency, so it should have FR right there. That's my FR. Hit OK, or just hit enter. And then my average is my GPA, 2.846. Did anybody else get 2.846?
Yes.
Good, good, good. It's either that or we're both wrong. So my GPA, give me a second. I can find my pen again. There it is. 2. What did I say again? 2.46, 2.846, 2.846. Our data is all whole numbers, so we can have 1 decimal place. Look to the right, 4 or less. You don't change that underlying number. So my GPA is 2.8 here. You see every problem so far, just about. I'm just using a calculator. The final exam is going to be like this also. You need, if you're lagging and you're not using your calculator, you're going to be in big trouble. Maybe not necessarily for this test, but come final exam or the next test, it gets harder. I have question 9 now. Stop me if anybody has any question. 3, 7, 2, 9, 14, and 26. What is the range?
24.
And, oh, yeah, how did you get that?
The highest minus the lowest.
Range is highest minus the lowest. 26 is the highest number. 2 is the lowest number. So the range is 24. Okay, so here's a question people got wrong on one of the quizzes we took in Canvas, question 10. Let me write down some numbers. 8, 12, 17, 36, 41, and 28. And the question reads like this, I believe. Use range rule of thumb to estimate your standard deviation. So use the range rule of thumb to estimate the standard deviation. Anybody remember that formula? Range rule of thumb.
Range divided by 4.
So, and this is, we're finding standard deviation, but these squiggly lines mean estimate. It says estimate. So we're estimating, and she said it's the range divided by 4. That's the formula you should have written down. The range is the highest minus the lowest. The highest number is 41. The lowest number is 8. And then we divide it by 4. So this becomes 33 divided by 4. And let's see what my calculator says. 33 divided by 4. And then it says 33 over 4, but then remember to change it to a decimal, just hit Control Enter again. Somebody helped us out with that. and we get 8.25. So since all the numbers were whole numbers, we're allowed to have one decimal place. So what is my S? Somebody tell me what my answer should be.
8.3.
Yes. Since we're going to go one decimal place, look to the right. 5 or more, you add 1 to the number you're rounding there. If it was 4 or less, you don't do anything. It would have been 8.2, but since there's a 5 or higher to the right of that, you add 1 to that number, and the range rule of thumb estimation is 8.3. This is the correct answer. Good. Using these same numbers, where's the numbers at? Using these same numbers. Oh no, we're not using those same numbers. Sorry. Ooh, I like this next question. I like this next question. I really like this next question. I shouldn't tell you this because this is a good question. Number 11. If the variance equals 7.72, what does standard deviation equal? So I'll give you a second to try to come up with an answer. Type your answer into the chat box if you try to figure that out. And I'll try to figure it out myself. It's hard for me to see this. Somebody has an answer. Don't look at it till you get your answer. Thanks, Tyler. I think that's what I got. Yeah. This is a hard one for some people. I mean, nobody else got anything? Don't copy Tyler. He might be wrong.
Sorry about that. I thought I had my message set, so it was only to you, not to everyone. So don't blame me if everyone gets it wrong. I apologize in advance.
What? You might be right. We'll see. Okay, it seems like a lot of people are having a hard time. Yes, that's why it's really, 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 really important to take good notes and have your workbook. If you're taking notes in your workbook, if you're just sitting there during class this whole time and not taking any notes, that's on you. That, I mean, there's not much more I can do about that. But if you're taking really good notes, that's not good enough. You have to put tabs in your book so you can go to that place really quick and find the answer. Now, there's a couple of things we need to know. Standard deviation, and I'm just going to say SD, the symbol for standard deviation, sample standard deviation, is S. Variance, the symbol for sample variance is S squared. So this is S squared. To find S, we have to do a little math. You have to take the square root of both sides. Square root and a square cancel. So S ends up equaling the square root of 7.72 on my calculator. Do you see? If S square equals 7.72, then to find S, the opposite of square is square root. Square root and square cancel. So we're left with S equals the square root of 7.72. And square root of 7.72 on my calculator. And I'm just going to bring up my calculator again. To do the square root's right there. And so you have to hit Control square root 7.72. And oh, by the way, let me show you where I'm at. I'm sorry. What I did was you have to go to a calculator page. So I hit Control page, and then I added a calculator page. Just hit Enter. And now you can do calculator work on a calculator page. Control Enter number 1. And my data still, all my other data was still over here. See, my other data is still there. But I hit Control Enter, Control page number 1, add a calculator. And then I hit square root, and the square root symbol is right above the X square, Control X square, which is a square root, sorry. And then I type in 7.72. Is that what the number was? Oh, that wasn't 7.72. What was it? 7. What number was it?
Sir, you had 7.72 written down.
Oh, did I?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what I got. Then square root of 7.72 is 2. It's right there, 2.778. 2.77849. So let's go over here. Yeah, I did have 2.772, 2.77849. The question is, how would I round this? I wouldn't trick you for rounding it. I'd give you like A, B, C. I'd give you 3 different answers, like 6.92, 2.78, 3.77. Which is the correct answer? B, if I rounded it to 2 decimal places. Now, you always do it 1 decimal place more than the data. Since we already had S at 2 decimal places, then variance is also going to be at 2 decimal places, because your data was probably 1 decimal place, because S is 2 decimal places. So your data was 1 decimal place probably. And so we got 7.72 for S, which means we're going to probably go 2 decimal places. So I wouldn't ask you, I wouldn't trick you as far as multiple choice. If your answer is anywhere close, 2.778, you'd see 2.78. Yeah, 2.78 is the answer. So there you wouldn't really worry too much about rounding, but it's always 1 decimal place more than the data. We don't have data here, but we do have S. So V and S should be the same decimal places because they are 1 decimal place more than the data. Hopefully that made sense. Okay. What if I have a mean of 66? I have a mean of 66. This is question number 12. And a standard deviation of 7. What is my COVAR? Coefficient of variation. So you should be looking through somewhere. Hopefully you have a tab that says Kovar and you can go right to it. And you'll know what the formula is. Anybody know the formula?
Should be your standard deviation divided by your mean times 100. Times 100%.
So that's the Kovar, standard deviation divided by mean times 100. So standard deviation is 7. My mean is 66. And don't forget about that times 100 because in the test, it actually tries to trick you. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Let me turn this calculator on. I must have it on saver mode or something because does your guys' calculators turn off very fast?
Yeah, I had the same one and mine does that too.
There's got to be a way to
Yes, sir,
change
mine
that
turns off.
setting. Yeah, there's got to be a way to change that setting. I'm going to look for that. So we're going to do 7. I'm on my calculator page that I created. 7 divided by 66. And then I had to hit Control Enter to get the decimal part of that. And I just want to show you what the test will look like, okay? Question A, it might be 0.106%. B might just be 0.106. C might be 10.6%, and D might be 10.6. So in the chat box, type in the correct answer. What? So some people are typing in CCC. Yeah, it's almost like a trick. I mean, if you type this in without the 100, you get 0.106, and you would get it wrong because you have to multiply by 100% and then add the percent symbol. So the correct answer is C. They try to trick you by giving you 4 answers that look similar. 4 or 5 answers that look similar. So just be careful about that. Have those formulas handy. It's really going to help out, I think. Okay, question 13. I scored on a test. I scored 75. I scored 75. The mean score for the class was 65. Standard deviation equals 6.7. What is my z-score? What? Why am I writing sideways? I scored 75 on a test. The mean is 65. Standard deviation is 6.7. What is my z-score? So first you got to look up the formula for z-score. I'm really hoping everybody gets 100 on this test. I mean, it would be great to get an A right off the bat on major test number 1. It's worth so much. It's worth a lot. Okay, so can anybody tell me the formula for the z-score? It starts with a Z. Anybody remember that formula?
I got it down as z-score equals x minus that bar mean or bar over
The
x
average, right?
divided by s.
Standard deviation, right? This is the other score. This is the average, and this is standard deviation. This, I always say, is the other score. In this case, it's my score. So I score a 75. The average score was 65. Standard deviation was 6.7. So that's what my Z-score will be. And I'm going to put that in my calculator. And this brings up a really good point. Let me see. 7.5. It's 75, not 7.5. Sorry. 75 minus 65 divided by, or I hit enter, and then I'm going to divide it by 6.7. And I get 1.4924. I'm trying to think really quick. Z-scores are always one decimal. I'm trying to think if Z-scores are always one decimal place or two decimal places. See, I don't have my workbook with me. I think Z-scores are always one decimal place. Yes. Wait. Damn it. I'm going to look that up before I leave. So just somebody remind, I'm going to write it down. Z-scores. How many decimals? I think it's always just one decimal place, but I'll look it up before we walk out of here. If it's only one decimal place, then there's the decimal. Look to the right, 5 or more. So the Z-score equals 1.5. Did anybody else get 1.49? I think I saw that in the chat box. Good, good, thank you. Okay, so let's use one decimal place now. I mean, if the Z-scores are two decimal places, 1.49, and you would have one of these two answers. It's multiple choice, so you'd pick the correct one. There wouldn't be 1.5 and 1.49. The only question that's really making sure you round it correctly is that first one, that very first question that I talked about, finding that mean of the other one. Okay, so that's the number 13. I said number 13, but now the next question says number 15. That's funny. So I'm on question 15, I guess. There might be like two questions that are the same. The average weight of a man is 185 pounds. Standard deviation equals 15. Find the weight of a man whose Z-score is 2.2. What? So I'll give you a second and to try to find that answer, and then we'll go over it. Type your answer in the chat box if you can. If you dare. Do I have one? Oh, I think I do have one. I do have my workbook with me. Nobody's typed in the answer yet. Huh? It's a little harder than what you might think, I guess. Let me go to, I wanted to check the z-score thing. Yeah, all z-scores are one decimal place, no more than one decimal place. Okay, somebody has an answer. 222.4. Okay. Two people copied each other. No, kidding. What if I did 220? Oh. Oh, I typed in 222.4 also. No. All right. Oh, you're typing in direct messages. Is that message to everybody or just to me? All right, so let's go through the formula for this. It's the same formula. Z equals X minus X bar over standard deviation. Here they tell us the Z-score is 2.2. We're trying to find my weight with a Z-score of 2.2. The average weight of a person is 185 and the standard deviation is 17. So we have to do some math. If you remember how to do this, this is divided by 17. So I have to take the 17 to the other side. The opposite of dividing by 17 is multiplying both sides by 17. What happens is these cancel and I'm left with 17 times 2.2. If I can turn my calculator on, 17 times 2.2, and I get 37.4. And then I need to take the 185 to the other side by adding 185, adding 185. And X equals, add 185 to what I previously got, 222.4. And that's our answer. Everybody okay with that? You have to know how to solve for X. To take the 17 over to the other side, it's dividing. So you do the opposite, multiply both sides by 17. If you have a 17 on top multiplying and a 17 dividing, they cancel out. So 17 times 2.2 then is 37.4. Bring the 185 over, it's subtracting. So take it to the other side, do the opposite math, add 185, and you should get 222.4. And that's the weight of a man who has a Z-score of 2.2. And it should be more because average, right? I mean, if we look at a normal curve, and this is important to understand, if we look at a normal curve, the average man was 185. A Z-score, this is a Z of 1. This is a Z of 2. Where's it, like 2.2? Let's call this 2.2. So obviously the weight is going to be more than 185. And we said the weight was 222.4. A Z-score of 2.2 has a weight of 222.4. You can add two standard deviations, which is 34, 17 and 17. But then you have to add a little bit more. But if you use this formula, you get the exact answer. Okay, that was question 15. Question 16. It might be hard. If I have 18, 19, 20, 20, 25, 30, 37, and 46. Find the percentile. What percentile is the number 25? Oh, percentiles. I might have to open up my folder for that. What percentile is the number 25? And anybody want to try to type in their answer? What percentile is the number 25? And I'll circle 25. What percentile is this number? Oh, we have an answer. Okay. I see an answer. I don't know. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it here in a second. Oh, looks like we got two people. Got the same answer. And if you're still looking for the formula, you need to organize your workbook. I'm telling you, if you're still looking for the percentile formula, you need to organize your workbook. Your percentile formula is on page 137 of your workbook. 137, lower right-hand corner are the pages. Page 137 of your workbook. And the formula for percentile equals the number of values below X, number of values below X, then add 0.5 to it and divide by the total number of items. Data. I'm going to just put total number of data. So if you look, there are, and these are in order, there are 4 numbers below 25. So it's going to be 4 on top. This number's below X. X, this is X, the number we're talking about. Then put a 0.5 after it. And then divide it by the total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I think we, did I forget something? Oh yeah, this says times 100. I was going to say it's the percentile. We have to multiply by 100. So that's the formula. Please organize your workbook so you're able to find these. And you should get 56.25%. And since our data is whole numbers, once again, I would round it to 1 decimal place. But I don't know if percentiles is rounds to decimals. It doesn't say so in the book, but it'd be very obvious to pick the correct answer. They wouldn't give you 56.25 and 56.3. More than likely, they just have 56.3. So please organize your workbook for this test. And if anybody tells me, oh, I didn't have enough time on the test, it just seemed like I was always in a hurry. It's because you weren't organized and you didn't know where anything in your workbook was. Grab some little tabs or something so you know where mean is, percentile, coefficient of variation. Oh, the same data. Next question is the same data. This is question 17, sorry. Same data, 18, I shouldn't erase the data, 19, 20, 20, 25, 30, 37, and 46. What value corresponds to the 28th percentile? What value corresponds to the 28th percentile? What value corresponds to the 28th percentile? And the formula is on the next page. C equals n times p times divided by 100. N is the number of items we have, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The percentile is 28, the 28th percentile. P is the percentile divided by 100. Let's see what we get here. Is that right? Something's not right. 8 times 28 divided by 100. Yes. Did anybody get an answer yet? So did anybody get an answer yet? By the way, 2.24 is not the answer. Oh, what? Let's see what let's see. Oh, I don't see the correct answer. 0.0224 is not the correct answer. 3 is not the correct answer. Oh my God, you guys are all gonna fail this test. I'm kidding. That's why we're doing this review. Some of you might not do as good as you got. Nobody got the right answer yet. I got 2.24, but that's not the answer. It's not correct. Okay, let me do a multiple choice. Can I do a multiple choice? Let's see if you can pick the correct answer here. A is 2.2, B is 2.3, C is 37, D is 20, E is 46. Oh, Michael says 20. That's wrong because it's either A, B, C, D, or E. Uh-oh, now we have an A, which is wrong. Oh, no. Okay, so go to, if you're there, if you're at your workbook, go to page 136. This is really important. On your page 136 in the workbook, because if you're doing percentiles and you're doing a problem like this, you have to read the procedure table on page 136. The page numbers at the bottom right-hand corner of the workbook. You have to read the procedure table. So it says plug in your information into here. There's 8 number, N is the number of numbers, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we got that. 28th percentile, you just type in 28, then you divide it by 100 and you get 2.24. This is C. Now go to that's step 2 in the procedure table. Step 3A. If C is not a whole number, it's not. Hang on. It's not whole. Do you see? 3A says, if C is not a whole number, round up to the next whole number. Did anybody put 3 down as an answer? Because 3 is not the answer. I'm just checking. But keep on reading. If C is not, round up to the next whole number. Starting at the lowest value, count over to that number. Starting, you see, C tells you the position. This is the position of that number. So there, they have to be in order. 1, 2, 3. This is the answer, 20. Thank you, Michael. Do you see 20 is, this tells you the position of the number when they're in order from smallest to largest. 3 is the position. Now, if it was a whole number, if you read 3A, if C is a whole number, round up to the next whole number. If C is a whole number, use the halfway point between the C and the C plus 1. So if you got, if you just, when you did the math and you got 3, you'd have to take the average of the third and then the fourth. But we're just doing this one. 3A says, then move, round up to the next whole number. We get 3. We're not rounding to 2. Round up to the next whole number. Any part of a decimal goes to the next whole number. This is a rounding up, it's called. And then you go, when they're in order from lowest to highest, you go to the left to the third number. That's the answer. 20 is the answer. Where Trinity, you said if C is not a whole number, round up to the next whole number. Start, yeah. So you said go to the lowest number. No, you round up to the next whole number, which is 3, and then move 3 spaces over from the lowest to the highest. The answer is 20. Everybody okay with that? I mean, that's really important in the book. That's why I'll let you use this workbook on your tests. All the procedures and formulas, rather than you writing it down on the sheet of paper and all that, it's really good to have that there. All right. Everybody okay? You really have to read those instructions there. Okay, so next, same data. 18, this is question 18, 18, 19, 20, 20, 25, 30, 37, and 46. What is the 5-number summary? So we got to find the 5-number summary for this. And if you remember the 5-number summary, you put all that data in a list. And then you do the same thing you would do for mean or standard deviation, because the 5-number summary is in the same place. So I'm going to turn on my calculator, hit on again and hit new, and delete all my other stuff that I had saved on there. Go to number 4 and add those numbers in the list. I'm going to call that list 1, L1. And I'm going to put this data in there: 18, 19, 20, 20, 25, 30, 37, and 46. Oh, and something's not right. I didn't type something in correctly. 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, 37, and 46. So I typed all my data in. And to find the 5-number summary, click somewhere over here. Go to menu. Same way that we find our mean and all that. Number 4, statistics. Number 1, stat calculate. Number 1, variable stats. There's only one list. And the list is my L1. I really wish I should have cleaned out my nails. I was working in the garden a little while ago. I should get a manicure before class. L1. L1. And then I hit enter. Somebody had, a couple of people have the answers already. If you, I'm going to bring it over to the right a little bit and scroll down. Do you see there's the 5-number summary? If I scroll, minimum Q1, median Q3, and then maximum. That's the 5-number summary. Those 5 numbers is a 5-number summary: 18, 19.5, 22.5, 33.5, and 46, just like the 2 people, Tyler and got there. All righty, so 18, 19.5. So the minimum Q1, median, sometimes referred to as Q2, Q3, and the maximum. That's the 5-number summary. And then the last question, they'll give you different numbers, but question number 19, or I think it's question 20 on the test. Draw a box plot on a sheet of paper. Then you'll either scan it or take a picture and post it in the Dropbox. So I want you to draw the box plot on a piece of paper and submit that. So let's do it on our calculator first. Let's go back. I don't even remember how to do the box plot on my calculator. I can probably go to the workbook, and somewhere it says box plot, right? And yeah, and in 3.4, I have the steps for doing, creating a box plot. Okay, so first you add your data just like we did. Then we go to a new page. Let me straighten this out. So then we go to a new page, control page. Didn't I just hit control page? Oh, I'm clicking on my computer. I need to click on the calculator. I'm a fool, man. Oh, down here, control page. And then we want to add, what's it say, number 5, right? 5, add data and statistics. Enter data and statistics. Okay, so we don't have the box plot yet, but we scroll down to the, if you remember, we scroll down to the x-axis. If I get there, there we go. It's highlighting now. I click on the x-axis and click on L1. It's already highlighted L1, so I hit enter. And we're almost at the box plot. Then you click on menu. And plot type. I'm going to arrow over to the right. And box plot number 2, it doesn't give you the dot plot, just gives you the box plot. When you hit enter, you have your box plot. So I want to draw it like this. So this is the way I'm going to draw it. By the way, those steps, once again, those steps are on page 142 and 143 of your workbook. And there's a video of it also there. So don't, I mean, if familiar with it. So I'm going to draw this box plot. I have to draw it on a sheet of paper and submit it. So let me look. It starts off with a little line. Then we have a box plot, and then we have a longer line. Then it has the medium closer to this side. So this is the box plot. What you need to do then is go like this. The minimum is 18, that's the minimum. Q1, that's the minimum. Q1 is right here. Q1, I said Q2, but it's really Q1. Q1 we already did was 19.5. The median, there's the median, is 22.5. Q3 is 33.5. And then the maximum is 46. So you need to submit something with the data on it like this, scan it or take a picture and then submit it to the Dropbox. And I'm going to show you that right now. I'll give you a second if anybody's still writing. Okay, let's go to the workbook. Oh, share this and go to module 6, not workbook here. And do you see, here's where you're going to take the test. The password is test 1A. The Dropbox is right here. Dropbox for the last problem on test 1. So you scan it or take a picture and then you submit it in the Dropbox. And then you can't see it here, but it say download the file. What file do you want to download? And then you'll download it and submit it. That is the test. I think there was something else. I keep on, go back down here. Oh, I wanted to, I'll verify, but the password is test 1A. So make sure you know, hey, right there is the password, test 1A, all lowercase. Don't forget about the ISO. Let me hit stop recording because we're done.